Yo, what up, people? Welcome to the Joe McFo Show. How are you all doing today? Let me know if you guys can hear me properly. I want to make sure that my mic is working all right before going too far. Um, we got Mark in the house. What's up, Mark? And then he's asking, does everyone have their water? Because I'm going to make Jordan say all the Avatar things today. Well, you know what? I got my water. I had to put some ice cubes in it just to brace the heat. So there we go. I'll take that first sip there. We got Kathy in the house. Welcome, Kathy. Thank you for coming on. Let me get some music playing as usual. I always forget which song to play. You guys can't see it, but they all have weirdest names like Nilly Willy Young Logos is one, and then Popping Off the Rip by Rage, and Squatta Bambino Tumblr. I don't even know why I downloaded these, but they're in here. So yeah, let's get some music going. Try and hear it too. And let's see. And now the other thing I gotta say, it is our 40th live stream. I actually can't believe it. We have done 40 live streams on this channel, so I'm super excited. And just the fact that we've been here for almost a year, 52 weeks in a year, but this is a pretty landmark number. And we're still going strong, And you guys who've been coming every week, I really appreciate you guys so much. You have no idea what it means to a lowly artist like myself, and just help me create this project. So today we're going to be doing some color keys, as you can see by this thumbnail that we've done. And what I've done here is, first let me close this out. What I've done here, I did a couple of sketches the other day of just different thumbnails we could do for shout boxes, and I'm just going to take one and just start coloring it. Some of these are for very specific moments in the show. Some of them are just things that popped in my head. Some of them are future moments that I will not give context to, so don't try anything funny. But yeah, I want to take some inspiration from, actually, just preempt this, from Spider-Verse, because of course the colors in that are freaking amazing. And what I want to do, I have this website here. I think I showed it last week too. And it's called Animation Screen Caps. And what it does is it doesn't load properly sometimes. There we go. Freaking hate pop-ups. So what it does is it captures all the frames of a movie of your choice. And unfortunately, the sequel is not on here, but the original Spider-Verse is. And we could take a lot of inspiration from just scenes like here, like Miles doing this thing, and like every single frame. The only thing is I have to guess which scene pops up where, because there's no like label. It's just here. So we're gonna take some inspiration from this, and we're gonna put it into the thumbnails that we're gonna be doing. Megan's in the house. Hello, Joe McFo fam. What's up, Megan? Appreciate you for coming on. Hope everyone's having a good Sunday or Monday if you're Mark. Mark is asking, how was your art showcase? That is a Megan question. So Megan, you can answer that one. And yeah, by the way, Mark said he's going to be forcing us to drink a lot of water today, apparently. So I'm glad I used the bathroom before this stream, because I don't know if I'll be able to handle it. All right, let me just find some good reference. I guess first of all, we got to figure out what picture we're going to be doing color keys for. So we're going to be using Photoshop today because I feel like it. And it's crazy because I'm actually running Photoshop and Clip Studio Paint, and my computer's not stalling. So that new computer really did help. It really did. So I'm kind of feeling this first one, although someone, namely Kathy, gave the suggestion to add Atana and Kayla here as well, overlooking the city. That might be a cool one. And then there's a couple others where they're, jumping over stuff. I also really like this page. I was starting to feel a lot looser here. And then here we got Javen, Kayla, and Atana hiding from an Abaddon monster. We got Ishnu kind of meditating in the forest here. So I don't know which ones we're going to finish today, but I'm just going to go off of, I guess, instinct and just figure something out. So right now, personally, I kind of want to try out this one with Ishnu. So let's pick a scene where there's some nature in Spider-Verse. The only thing I can think of, let me get my water. The only thing that's really popping out in my head right now is when they're at Alchemax. So let's see. I don't know what page that would be on. Maybe let's try 24. Is it not gonna go? Okay, fine. Oh, I can download this whole gallery? That's cool. I didn't know I could do that. So one day I might just download this whole thing because apparently I have the space to do that. Okay, it's the scene right after this. Sorry guys, I should have probably done this earlier. But this site is so useful for picking stuff out. Here we go. Here we go. Now we're in business. Now let me just go a few more. Choose the scene where they're running over it. Yes, this is the moment. So look at a scene like this. Yeah. So I love how we're mixing in the purples, reds, oranges. Very analogous color scheme, with the snow kind of acting as the cool in here. But even the snow back here, if you look really closely, it's more of an orange and just mixing in a couple bits of purple. Mark said, what's that site again? It is called Animation Screen Caps. So Animation Screen Caps, CAPS. So I might try this one, although I don't know if the snow really works for this environment, but we could still try and use the colors. Another thing I was thinking about, I have an artist that I really like. His name is Lorenzo Lanfranconi, and he is Italian, if I'm not mistaken, and he has some really great references here. I might even base this drawing off of one of the compositions in this book, now I think about it. But he has some really beautiful illustrations here. And yeah, I based it off of this. This was the illustration I was looking at. I just kind of flipped it and changed a couple of things. So yeah, we're gonna try seeing what we can do. And I'm gonna move these over to the side just because it makes my life a little bit easier. But as far as Spider-Verse goes, you can plop that in here. Now, one thing I'm also gonna try not to do is do color picking. I think color picking can be useful as far as time saving, but when it comes to practicing and developing your skills as an artist, probably not the most useful, realistically. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, let's get the color in here, make a new layer. I'm just going to pick something there. All right. And then first thing I also like to do is I like to pick my palette out. So let me get what brush do I want to use? Let's get my O'Keefe brushes out, which is the same brushes that they're using in this image right here for the most part. So we can grab, a lot of these colors are actually a lot more desaturated than you would probably think they are. It's like this reddish coral color. It's probably very similar to this, I imagine. Let me see. Wait, how do I do this? What is the best way to tackle this? Yeah, I didn't color pick, but look at how similar that is. That color's probably mixed in there somewhere. So I can go in, I can bring this red a little deeper. Let's see, this brown here. Let's see, how would I use this brown? It's probably something kind of like this. One trick, you guys, to make sure you're kind of in line is to not move so far off of the color wheel. Like, you notice how I didn't really do a whole lot. I just picked a desaturated version of the hue that we're already choosing, and it's a deeper value. And that kind of makes it feel more harmonious that way. Another way you can get this effect is by having a glaze over the entire image and then picking colors on top of that. So there's a few ways you can go about it. I put Adele in a Legend of Korra scenario, but she had an accent because it was bowling in the Jeep. Oh my gosh, who? What in the world, bro? Did you make that up yourself? Please tell me you did. That's absolutely fantastic. I actually really like that song, Rolling in the Deep. Rolling in the deep. I can't sing like Adele, so just know that going in. Now, another thing outside of reference of like another piece of artwork, getting photo reference from nature is also a really good thing. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try going to my Pinterest board. I remembered an image that I saved in Pinterest a long time ago, like 6, 7 years ago, that might actually be useful for this scenario. So let me go to my environments. Um, Wait, is it environments? It must be. Because I think I saved art and photos in here. But there's a particular image that I'm thinking of. No, it's not in here. Where did I save it? Hmm. Hmm. Maybe I don't know where I saved it then. Well, I can always look up fall weather. Yeah, get some of this greens in here. Let's see. That thumbnail with Javen in the group is adorable. I'm glad you like it. This one is gonna be a fun moment. And this I actually don't even picture this being like a shot in the show necessarily, but like a cover image or something like that. If you wanted to try two different potential scenarios for the same shot, I sent you a green or pink environment from Trolls 2 that like, oh, okay, is that the notifications I've been hearing in Discord? Ooh, these are nice. These are very nice. Oh, this one will work perfect. All right, let's try this. Yeah, so we kind of got fun mix over here. Let's see. So we got some greens, cool greens here. And again, I'm going to do my best to not color pick because we're trying to expand our growth, right? All right. So we got some green here. Got some yellows. So I guess the first clue, we're gonna figure out how dark we want certain things, like what the main focal point is. And right now I've got Ishnu kind of meditating under this waterfall. So I'm gonna come back in here and make that a little bit more blue and just kind of do this. I'm not attached to these colors necessarily. Right now I'm just trying to make sure things stand out enough. This, I'm gonna just go a little bit darker here, a little bit more saturated. I'm gonna come in. I could probably even lower the opacity at some point. Maybe not now because we're still in the early process of it. Oops, wrong layer, wrong layer. Let's have a little bit more of this. And then Ishnu's got his green on, so let's he would probably have to actually be drawn in here to make it really work. Because I don't want him to get lost in here. I'm thinking about the lighting scenario. The lighting became. I think it could work if I had this in the foreground be significantly darker. So let's try that. Let's push up those layers a bit. Let's lower that saturation a bit. One other thing, I try and stay zoomed out as long as possible so that I can make sure that things are looking all right. Okay. Kind of liking these beige kind of colors here. So let's take that. Put that here. There's probably gonna be some more water. trees, create little trees over her. I'm gonna take this, whatever you would call this, desaturated pink. I'm gonna try and shift this a little bit more towards purple a bit with the hue. Just make it a cooler version of what we're already seeing. I might even darken it a bit, where the tree trunk's kind of mimicking this. Well, as I'm doing this, I'm already seeing that I'm probably going to make it a little bit more grayish blue. So let me push that here. When in doubt, zoom out. And then Megan says, our boy Jordan loves his purple. Yes, can't you tell? Can you not tell that I do like purple? That is my favorite color by far. Don't forget to like the stream. Yes, please, like the stream. Like the stream. This is the 40th one after all. We have come a long way. Remember when I used to have crazy tech issues? That doesn't happen so much anymore. I don't know if you guys have realized that. My computer hasn't stalled or heated up, even despite this being a pretty significant heat wave, not just for LA, but for the world at large. And so I'm pretty excited about that. And sometimes I also like to just turn off the line layers for a second, just to see what it's looking like, you know. The goal of this is not to be uber clean, is just to purely communicate a point. Matter of fact, let me show you guys some other color keys, just to show you guys a sample of what that looks like. I spelled keys wrong. I guess it depends on what type of production you're working on. Some of them are obviously really, really detailed because they're made for major productions, but some of them are pretty loose. Yeah, these are very vector-based for Mulan. This is like a reimagining of Mulan, I guess, maybe. Let's see. Wait, is this Scooby-Doo? I wanted to see this movie. I didn't get a chance to check it out. It doesn't look like it's the real Scooby-Doo because clearly that looks like Simon Cowell, and that background does not really fit these guys. But then again, I didn't see the movie, so I don't know. I could totally be wrong. Yeah, some other color keys. So it's just to get a simple read on what's happening. Tech issues, fond memories. Fond for who? I don't know what you're talking about. Only real ones remember the tech issues, right? Exactly. Here's another one thing that's pretty interesting. Oh my gosh. The Blade girl in Avatar is called May. I always thought her name was May. May just happens to be the Kikyu word for water, pronounced Ma'e. Wait. Kikyu word for water. Interesting. Okay, well, look, man, if I have to use the bathroom in the stream, it's your fault. I'm just saying. There should be t-shirts for people who've been around long enough to remember the tech issues. Yes, that's actually not a bad idea. Just be like, remember the tech problems, remember the tech issues. And they're still on my streams, or my live streams are still on my channel. You could go back and watch them. I remember, I think it was the second one that I ever did, where I had a power outage or something, or no, my Cintiq stopped working. That's what happened in the second one. But I did have a power outage in one stream that was just absolutely terrible. And you guys were all still talking like, where'd Jordan go? I'm like, I'm here, but my computer is not. I'm sorry. That was terrible. I never want to repeat that again. All right, so let me see. So the colors aren't feeling harmonious quite yet, but that's okay because I have a solution. Let me just trust the process here. Let's get rid of some of this. Let's push this more towards like a yellow, maybe. I should just do this on one layer. This is starting to confuse me now. Yeah, I'm blend it or merge it. And also, let me look at my reference too. So we got some stuff happening here. something in here I'm not really liking. I think I might have been a little too excited with the colors that I chose. So let me go back a step and just figure this out. Just redoing my palette a little bit because some stuff just got lost. I should have done this first. I usually do have a palette on top, but I think I was just a little distracted. That's okay though. We can fix that up. Try not to have too many colors. Then let's get that purple back. I'll hold off on mentioning the show for now, but I shall strike unexpectedly. Oh my gosh, you're a mess. Megan's like, "Am I goading Mark on by counting these? Oh well, don't care." Jeez, y'all want me to really just have to use the bathroom every time I do the streams. The outer stream was my favorite. I bet it was your favorite. You probably caused it. You probably called the electric company and be like, "Hey, it'd be really funny. It'd be really funny if you just made Jordan stream crap out at the last second." Wait, what is? Did I color on this reference? Oh, I guess I did. Oh well. Let's see. Let's put a little bit of purple in these rocks right here, just to harmonize that a bit more. You can always, exaggerate the colors more later on, but I think as a base, it's very helpful. Matter of fact, let me do this. Let me pick this purple, and I'm just do a soft glaze over it. So I do an overlay like this. Now everything will have this purple on it very slightly. And we're just going to continue exploring. We're just going to see what comes up from this. Because I don't know if all these colors are matching yet. In the light direction, it's like if you're coming through the trees this way. As unexpected as finding a kid frozen alive in a glacier. Wait, what? What in the world? oh, I get it. I get it, Manette. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. With the sky cow. It's like, what? What is they talking about? I thought you were talking about like a news segment for a second. Like, what are you hearing over in that area of the woods? And then it took me a minute to be like, oh, they're being unexpected. All right, let's do this. Let's get some more colors in here. Then, what do I want here? Kind of like the idea of this being part of the fog or the mist from the waterfall. So I might make this another cliff right here. So let's do this. It actually should be a little bit lighter than this because it's further in the background. And this here can be just some sort of other tree or bush. Make it a little bit darker. Unrelated, Manette. Every time I type your name, my phone autocorrects to man-eater. Do with that information what you will. Manette, if that is the case and there is something to that, don't admit it on my live stream. I don't want to be called in for something that would incriminate anybody. Okay. So we can put some more cliffs back here. And the water can come through this. We'll put Ishni back, don't worry. He'll still be a part of it. And I'm also using a really harsh brush too. Let's see what happens if we try this. Let's give it some floor. A lot lighter. We're gonna come in, saturate that a little bit more. And I imagine, you know, for the comic, when we start making that, it's going to be very focused on color. It's not going to be a black and white comic, by the way, in case you guys are curious. It would actually be very impossible to do that based on the story. So it's going to be in color, but it's going to be interesting because we're probably going to do a color strip for the entire thing first, just to see how it even comes out. So I'm really curious to see how that's all going to work. Some water in here. Let's even darken this up a bit. I don't necessarily want it to be a riverbed or anything like that. Oh, it could be. In fact, let's do this. Let's just make this a cliff right here, and then I'll come back in later and add some fog. So I want to make sure these are separated enough. So let's come in here and we'll do some soft round. Okay. Got our rocks here, because rocks are fun and useful. Let's get a little pathway so we know where he walked from. Clean this up here. One way to show distance, by the way, is by having a separation of light and dark values. So, so right here, if you notice on my scale, this is about 35% with the B. You see at the top. If I go here, this is at 71%. So that's automatically pushing something to be light versus dark, which is really, really helpful whenever you're trying to show distance. So keep that in mind. That's something I also did with down here, this section with the mist. And I can come back in and put mist up in this area too. It's probably gonna be very useful once I do that. Help separate things more. But what else can I do? I don't want it to be so 50-50. I'm worried that that's happening with the composition right now. So I might actually cut back on this ledge here and do a shape that's closer to this. Makes it feel a little bit more natural, I think. All right, and then come back in here, get some colors in the background. By the way, is anyone going? I might have talked about this last week. Is anyone going to see the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie? I am so excited for that. That movie looks so good. I'm ready. I think I did talk about it. No, now I'm remembering. Um, Wait, let me see. I've gotten a lot of variations of my name, but that is a first. Are you serious? Really? That actually, that's one of the first things I would have probably done. Okay. I just noticed your last name is Eaton. It's getting worse. Eat on. That's awesome. Well, there is a news story about things frozen in ice. Scientists revived an estimated 46,000-year-old roundworm from the Siberian permafrost. I did see that. That I find really fascinating. Um, I haven't looked into it further than the headline, I will admit, but it is fascinating nonetheless. Um, this is my villain origin story. I was given a name and had to live up to it. What have I done? Oh man, Mark, see you causing some trouble over here, bro. Causing some trouble. Gotta be careful, man. You might regret some of your decisions. Okay, this is actually not coming out too badly. Let's get some more specific shapes here in this rock. Just something as simple as a zigzag would be nice. Okay. Then let's see, how can I do this? I'm looking at my reference, by the way, in case you guys are wondering what I'm doing. Look at the Lanfranconi stuff. That's such a fun name, Lanfranconi. Okay, and then, so these were trees in the ground here. Let's do a little bit more with this. Get a couple of spots of oranges and yellows, I think would be nice. A little bit brighter. Yeah, there we go. That looks nice. I don't know. I'm assuming I have a leaf brush somewhere, but let's try this. Yeah, here we go. Actually, this will be nice for the rock texture. Let's do some of this. Have access to these brushes, why not use it to its full potential? Make it loose and painterly. There we go. That's feeling better. I like that. Liking where it's heading. Uh-oh, we got a new face here. Well, new for today's stream. Hi, how's everyone? How's y'all day been? My day's been pretty good. I got up, I had some pancakes, worked out some Shadowboxer story stuff that has been bugging me, and I think a solution has been made, so it's going to be really fun to work that out. And went to check out some new mattresses. And did you know, by the way, did you guys know that they sell mattresses for $30,000? I was not aware of this. I was expecting, a couple thousand, but this dude came. I was talking to him in the store. He's like, "Yeah, this one's $30,000." I was like, "Excuse me, bro. What is this made of? Like, this must be like for some prints or something. Like $30,000." I can't even think of a single thing I would spend $30,000 on, like as an object outside of like a car or a home. You know what I mean? Like, let alone a mattress. That's freaking ridiculous. And my car, I personally don't spend $30,000 on a car either. But I'm just saying, it's pretty wild. Is my point. All right, so let's come in here. Let's get a little bit wild with some of these textures for the trees here. I really like this brush. It's fun, loose. It better make your dreams come true, right? That's a good one. I like that. Clearly, it's made of baby unicorn fur, right? Yeah, I don't know who thought that that was going to be a top seller. But then again, I do live in Los Angeles, and you know, you can walk down the street and just see Rihanna or Drake, and they just be like, "Yeah, I need a new XYZ, need a new bed." Okay, so one thing I don't want to do, I want this to look like water. So let me just come back in here, fill in this space. I don't like how this cliff is coming out, so I'm going to have to change this rather drastically. I'll come back in, I'll fill in that mist again, because I like the effect of it, though. This is going to have to be, let's make this a little bit lighter. Ordinarily, I'll probably also do this on more than one layer. I think I'm just being a little bit lazy, I guess. That or really conservative. You can do with that what you will. I think because I just want this to still feel kind of loose. I don't want this to be overly done, you know. And come in here, and I can get some branches. Let's get a little bit brown. Let's see how this looks. It's like a sunrise meditation moment. Then I can go in, add some other tree trunks. It's kind of fun being this loose, I gotta say. Usually when I'm drawing, I'm so used to like tightly rendering stuff, and now I'm just like, nah, we ain't doing that today. We ain't doing that. We're just gonna have some fun. It's probably a little evenly spaced, but that's okay. I think it's massive. Oh snap! I missed a lot. Um, oh snap! We got Janet in the house. What is up, Janet? How are you doing? Yeah, I went to the best concert in the world, and I somehow survived. Uh, I think I saw this on your story. Was it that Taylor Swift concert? Was that it? Are concerts life threatening now? Yes, I suppose music really does make you lose control. Music make you lose control. Music makes you lose control. Is that Missy Elliott? I think that's what that is. I actually did see that apparently okay, was it the one that caused the earthquake or whatever? Apparently. What music does she do that causes earthquakes? Like, isn't she a country artist? Like, I'm trying to think, like, what will cause that much jumping up and down? Because have y'all ever seen DMX perform at Woodstock? Was it Woodstock? No, it was some. Maybe it was Woodstock. Let me see. There was a festival he performed at, and it's literally a sea of people. I won't play the music, but look at this. Look how many people that is. That absolutely. That's one person they're going to see. This is back in the '90s, but what concert was it? I need to know. Let's say it doesn't say. Someone can look it up. But yeah, because I didn't know Taylor Swift could pull that kind of crowd. I think Ginger Cell's using Janet's account. I haven't seen Ginger Cell in a minute. Where is she at? We got to make fun of Taylor Swift some more with her. It hits different when you're in the presence of your hero. Nope, it's me. Yeah, it's definitely Ginger Cell. Yeah, I was in Seattle and the fans causing, or it was in Seattle and they caused an almost 2.3 earthquake. No, I'm a much bigger fan than Ginger Cell. I promise you. Oh, really? because the thing with Ginger Cell, she had to downplay MJ to boost up Taylor, and that's where I draw the line. Like, it's cool if you like Taylor Swift, no issues. But the second you say that MJ has been surpassed by Taylor, that's when I'm like, those fighting words. That's all I'm saying. There's gonna be fighting words right there. All right, let's get some more trees here. Actually, no, that wouldn't make sense. Let me back up. One thing I don't like about this composition, it feels too sectioned off. Like, it feels too split. So I'm trying to find a way to break it up. We could do this, obviously. That's one trick. This brush is really light. I don't like that. Is there another one? How about this? Nope. Same thing. Okay. How about this one? All right, there we go. That's better. To break this up a bit. Maybe there's gotta be something I can do to adjust this. Who has suggestions? Anyone have a suggestion? I'm trying to look at my reference, seeing what I could have done. Maybe part of it is just changing up the shape of this waterfall. Coming in like this. Maybe if we say Taylor Swift 3 times, Ginger Cell will appear. Oh my god, that's me. Remind me that until the king gets you muted for 5 minutes because I said so. That okay. Keep in mind that's because Megan said so. I didn't say that. If y'all have an issue with MJ, y'all just deal with me verbally. But Megan will actually block you. Apparently, I didn't make that rule up. I'm just saying. So be careful. Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift. Now we wait. Y'all are something else. Actually, one thing I was highly considering doing, I was thinking about Powerline in a Goofy movie. And if you don't know Powerline, then you just didn't have a childhood or a proper one at the very least. And he really is like the Bobby Brown, Prince, Michael Jackson of that film. And I'm like, there's got to be that in the Shadowboxers world. Like, I know we designed an MJ kind of character before. It was a little girl. We named her Misha, but I think we need an actual like character who's really based off of that, just for the sake of my own pleasure. Just yeah, I don't know how we were gonna pull that off, but I think it would be fun. Okay, so one thing we gotta do though with these trees, we gotta give them shadows. These trees are definitely supposed to be casting shadows. So let me turn this into multiply layer. Let's get like a purple. Not that particular purple. There we go. And I'm just approximating where the shadows would go. Then we could just do like a little bit of this here. Probably some dappled light in these trees. Turn this back to normal layer. I tried drawing rocks once, but I wasn't seeing it happening. It was really, it was really tough. Ha ha. Y'all are something else. I love it though. I love it. One of these days, I'm actually just gonna get from the table and just explode. I'll just be like, I gotta go, and you'll see a 5-minute delay. What was I using? Crazy brush, yeah. That's too light. That's definitely too late. Let's try this. There we go. You know what the solution might be, honestly? I might just have to cut this rock back just a little bit. Just pull it in. That way, I don't really have to run into the same issue of worrying about the overlaps and stuff. But let me check the composition again because I think stuff has changed a bit. Yeah, my horizon line was much lower than what I did here. Should have kept that layer on. Okay. Let's fix it. Because I actually do like this composition more. So how do I do this? I will select this. This is one of the reasons I also did it on one layer so I could risk, quote unquote, messing it up more at this stage. Because the purpose of this is not to be perfect, it's just to give a sample of color. And, some mistakes were made. That's okay. Mistakes have to happen or you won't grow. But I prefer the way Bob Ross puts it. He says, no such thing as mistakes, only happy accidents. Right? So we're creating that right now. Some happy accidents. And then we're going to go back in here and we're going to do this. So I think the issue, I wasn't looking at my reference closely enough. Honestly, that was a problem that I should have seen coming. Why is this? I don't think it's the right color that I want, but whatever. It's already feeling better, definitely. This actually feels like a reflection almost. That's cool looking. I was looking for avatar puns. I forgot what we were doing. What are we doing today, Jordan? Asking for people who just joined. Today we're doing color studies. We're doing some color studies, some scenes I did, or some shots that I made up in Shadowboxers. And so, yeah, we're working. This is the only one we've worked on so far. And I made a big mistake. Or I don't know if you guys know, what was it, Kidpix? You guys ever heard of Kidpix? It was a very old software where you get to create art, and I assume that a lot of elementary schools have them. But there was this little button. This is what Kidpix used to look like. There was a button. I think it was this guy right here. You can see this little face. Whenever you would make a mistake and you need him for the undo button, he would just make up different sounds. And one of my favorite ones was, I made a boo-boo, yeah. And he would sing it. And it was absolutely fantastic. I don't know if Kidpix still exists anymore, but the biggest leap forward for the #1 kids drawing and painting creativity software in a decade. I'm about to buy this. I'm about to buy Kidpix. Forget Photoshop. I'm done with the Adobe subscription. We're doing Kidpix from now on. I made a boo-boo, yeah. All right, so let's put a little bit of a level on this just to make this slightly darker. And then this outside, I don't have to do a level necessarily, but I do think I should soften this up a bit. This purple, going with like a 20% opacity. We're just going to zoom out, and all we're going to do is okay, more than that. That's a little too. Let's try this. Yeah, there we go. Just lighten it up a bit. I can always come back in and add a little bit more color, but the purpose was purely to separate out the background from the foreground. That was the whole point. That's like those people that make games for the Game Boy, LOL. Wait, what? Jordan saying he wants to buy Kid Picks sounds suspicious as heck. A rebrand is necessary. Can't be saying Kid Picks in public. Oh my gosh, you took it there, man. That's not what it was. Come on now. Come on. The art software, guys. The art software. Let's add a little bit of this here. Okay. Let's break up some of the patterns with these leaves here. You know what we need? We need a little bit of sky. So I haven't depicted the sky just yet, but what I'll do is I'll make a brighter version of this yellow. Just have it peeking through at the top in some places. Chat going crazy today. I know, right? It's going crazy. Yo, what's up, dude? Thanks for coming on. All right. Okay. There we go. It's not looking too bad, right? We can clearly see the inspiration in terms of the colors, and it took us a little while to get there, but I think it's working. Imagine saying I'm just playing around with Kid Picks to someone who doesn't know it's a software. No comment, Mark. No comment. I heard Neopets is making a comeback. I never had it, but one of my friends was obsessed. Neopets. Neopets was a big one, but I think the one that really took my school overboard was Tamagotchi. It got to a point where they banned it from the school. First, it was Beyblade. They banned Beyblades from the school. And there was that, and it was Tech Decks, little skateboards that you have on your finger. They banned everything. They took away all our cool toys. It was jacked up. Using that software is like how there are some people right now who are designing games for the Game Boy. I think people do the Game Boy Color, which released in 1998. Game Boys were the best, yo. I remember when the Game Boy first came out with a backlit screen. That was freaking revolutionary. If I remember correctly, they were like the first ones to actually do it because it came out before like cell phones. And they had, this is the Game Boy SP specifically, and they had a little button on it where you can change it. And I always kept it on because, like, what's the point of not having a backlight? This is incredible. And I don't even think there was a word for it yet. It was just a light. Because before you had to buy a little like extension, like a little reading lamp type of thing, or a reading light that they put on books and stuff. It was like one of those before. All right. So now I think we're getting pretty close. I can always adjust those trees a little bit more, but now it's closer to what I was envisioning. Now we gotta do is put a little Ishnu in here. So let's do this. Let's open up. Do I have an Ishnu page somewhere? Let's see. Ishnu is one of my characters. For those who are unaware, you will see what he looks like in a moment. This is him. This is our guy. He is very, how I describe this character? He's very kooky mentor character is the best way I can describe him for right now. But let's see. Actually, let's do this. Oops, there we go. I just want to do this for some. This one I'm going to color pick straight up because I already picked the colors. Put his staff here. Maybe make that a little bit darker. And his sleeve is missing on this side, so he's probably doing this. It's closer to that. And he's got, technically these aren't like his local colors that I'm picking out because it's affected by the green lighting around him. That's okay. Let's get this big old fro. He's gonna have the slash hair, and obviously he's gotta have his beard. Because what's a mentor sagely guy without a beard, right? Gotta have it. I actually can't think of a single character who's like this trope in fantasy that doesn't have a beard. Can any of you guys think of one? I can think of mentor characters in general who don't have one, like Doc Brown from Back to the Future doesn't have a beard. Jackie Chan as Mr. Miyagi, I don't think had a beard, you know, but in general, it's a pretty common staple. All right, so now, how do I do this? Let's merge these together. There we go. Yeah, it's not looking bad. I'm actually kind of feeling this right now. All right, now let's get this green light here. We're just going to surround him with it, just like it was in that image I showed you. Get my outer glow on. So it's going to be this kind of lime green-ish look right there. The color I'm going to actually pull is yellow, so it should look, there we go, that's beautiful. Yeah. I don't know about y'all, but I think it looks kind of cool. I think it looks pretty cool. And then the last thing we'll do, since I added that, it's going to have to affect the environment around him. So we're going to put a little bit of a greenish glow in other places. Where's my soft? Oh, I'm selecting it. But where's my soft green? I have a little bit of it on here. A couple areas. Maybe tone that down a bit. All right. So there we go. We got our first color key done. And it took an hour, but you know, whatever. It's all good. Does Uncle from Jackie Chan Adventures count? Does he have a goatee? I remember he had the crazy hair, but I don't remember him having a beard. Talking about this dude? That's just a chin. That's just a very, very long chin. Unless there's another character that I don't know about. Okay, cool challenge. Let me see. I still have 10-ish Tamagotchis. I use them for my key rings. Oh my gosh. My school banned Tamagotchi in all trading card games. Oh yeah, they banned Yu-Gi-Oh from my school too, which meant I never learned how to play. I love Tamagotchi though. I think I actually had an off-brand one. I remember when the pet pooped, a bulldozer came and scooped it away. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Master Oogway didn't have a beard. Who's that? I don't think Rafiki did either. Rafiki's also a baboon, so I think it's a little bit different. Is it? I don't even know what to call this. I think this is a beard-ish. It feels like a beard, or a mane, or what would you call that? I don't even know. I'm saying no beard. Oh, okay, got it. That makes sense now. Shoot, I'm drawing a blank. I thought that was the challenge: mentors without beards. The troll from Kung Fu Panda. Oh yeah, that's true. That is true. You know, Kathy, I gotta be honest with you. I think that was one of those times I also forgot what I just said during the stream. But I shouldn't have as much of an excuse because I wasn't really drawing. So, yeah, this is one of those embarrassing moments for me. Cut it, put it into a short, I guess. But that's a good one. Troll from Kung Fu Panda. Because even Master Splinter, I think, has a beard, doesn't he? guess it depends on the rendition. Master Splinter. Ew, that's creepy. Oh my gosh. Look at this Chuck E. Cheese looking dude. Love it. Oh my gosh, look how horrifying. Look how horrifying that is, guys. If I have to suffer through it, y'all are going to have to suffer through it with me. Oh my goodness. It's like Wile E. Coyote's brother, who just has a slightly better life. Okay, let's do our next image. I'm actually very happy with how this turned out. And you guys can see the process, how I started with the Spider-Verse images and the cup. I just took the sip before, so I'm going to use it for that. You guys can see how I got that. You guys see how I create a focal point with using the green. Is it perfect? No. Nothing I do is something I plan to be perfect, but it is something that I think is really in a good spot. So what we're going to do now, I'm not going to merge it, but what I will do is I'll at least just color it and I'll link these layers together so that I know. And we can turn off some of the references. All right, so what's next? We could do maybe this one. This one could be fun. Yeah, let's try it. Let's try this one. Something a little bit on the creepy side. I put this on a group in it. Be okay? No, it's not. It's because of the clipping masks. All right, so this one, what was I getting inspiration from for this? I think it was my Dragon Prince art book. Where is that? Is that on my shelf? It is on my shelf. Gotta fix the sign, y'all. Gotta fix the sign. Minette says that's probably as close as an anthropomorphized animal can get to a beard. Yeah, right? Also, Batman doesn't have a beard and he mentors all the orphans he can. I would actually like to see Batman with a beard. That would actually be kind of cool. All right, I'm looking in this book. A Dragon Prince, if you guys have not seen it, is a Netflix show. This book is only the first 3 seasons of the show. I know there's a 4th one. I think they plan to make 7, but it's really, really fun. If you like adventure stories and things like that, the art style is pretty cool too. They have this interesting blend of like 2.5D animation, which is like it's like puppet, but not quite. I can't really explain it. The first season they were struggling a bit, but the second season and third season they were like really kind of hammered out the animation style. So I'm going through the book right now. Well, you can see it's got some really pretty concept art in here. Really, really nice stuff. Okay. All right, I think I found what I want to use. Hold on a second. All right. I still haven't seen the 4th season. I haven't either. I just haven't had the time to be honest with y'all. But it's okay. It'll be around. It'll be around. Okay, so what mood do I want this to be? Definitely a darker tone. So let's go back to the Animation Screen Caps website. For those who are just coming in, this is a website where you can search up pretty much any animated movie and it'll be there. In this case, we're using Spider-Man because it's me. But if you look here, we also got Despicable Me, Cinderella from 1950. That's interesting. That's new. When's the last time I just looked at Cinderella? Oh yeah, the storybook opening and everything. Those dresses. This actually might not be a bad color palette to use, to be totally honest with y'all. But yeah, they have a bunch of stuff. Super Mario Brothers, whatever these are, Halloween Tree. I don't even know what these movies are. Cruella, Home, Aladdin, King of Thieves, Klaus is up here, Mulan. Ooh, wait a second. Let's use. Oh wait, no, this is the 2020 Mulan. I'm sorry. I think they probably have the actual Mulan though. because I'm thinking they might actually have a really good, some really good stuff in here, especially that scene right after they sing "What We're Fighting For" or something like that, with like the red sky. No, what in the world? I can't read this. I'm just gonna assume that says close. Okay, there we go. Usually the button that has color is the one that's like go forward with our product. Yeah, these are nice colors right here. This was such a fun movie. Epic songs too. Ooh, it's a great color palette right here. I think this can fit for our scene. Yeah, let's switch it up. Let's switch it up. Let's get some Mulan action up in here, up in this piece. Who here has not seen Mulan? Has anyone not seen that movie? If you haven't, you also missed out on a childhood, or at least a significant portion of it. One of my favorite moments from the movie is during the avalanche, and Mushu just happens to find Cricket in the snow. I was like, what are the odds, man? What are the odds during an avalanche with a war going on? You just happen to find your homie. Like by the ant. It wasn't even like he was out completely. It was just like through the little antennas. It's like, what, bro? All right, so we got lots of blues in this one, lots of dark blues. So I'm also going to continue using the same brushes I was using before. So let's do this. Let's grab, that is way too saturated of blue. We're going to tone that down. Looks like there's a lot of greens in here too. It's like a lot of subtle bluish greens in here. So things like this. Yeah, that's too saturated. So we're definitely moving out of the realm. This is also what you would call a monochromatic palette with an accent of orange. Because most of this is it's literally just dark blue, right? So, so that's what I'm thinking. So we're probably going to have mostly this dark blue, and then the accents of something like the eyes and the colors from the character's clothing, because they glow, right? Like Javen's got the blue, which is this color. We got Kayla's got the magenta, and then Atana has the yellow. So we're gonna, and then they also have certain skin complexions that are gonna be affected. Whereas this is literally just all tombstones and some lit, oh my gosh, what is this called? Incense. Okay. We got a basic group to start with. Let's go in here and color it up. I can already tell this is probably too saturated and too bright, so let's darken this a bit. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that red will definitely stand out. That accent will be very strong. That accent will be strong. Okay. Then we're gonna go on top. Let's make this the sky. So we actually borrow from this right here. We'll take this purple and we're gonna make it a little darker, kind of match the night scene a bit more. Let's see. How do that? How would I do this? Let me think. That's gonna be our sky. We can do this for. Get some rocks in here, kind of just pointing to the monster. To our monster. I'm a monster. Hi, I'm back. I called to eat dinner. Oh, well, I hope you enjoyed dinner. That suddenly makes me very hungry. I am very, very, very hungry right now. No idea how to do this. For how to do what, the color studies or color sample? Wait a second. Have you been here this whole time, Amanda? I don't remember seeing your comment, or you just walked in. You snuck in here an hour into our live stream. Either way, welcome. So yeah, right now what I'm doing, I'm taking the color palette from Mulan, and we're just gonna try and create something cool out of it. And our thumbnail, let me just layer this as sketch so I don't lose it. Our thumbnail is just simply, or line drawing is simply a reference. We don't have to use everything here to explore, but we're gonna do what we can. We're gonna do what we can. Let's get this a little bit darker. And the foreground, whatever that is gonna be the darkest for sure. So let's go in here. The vision for this is that they're all hiding behind some rocks. I don't know how well that'll work because all their clothes glow in the dark, but that's okay. His eyes are glowing too, so I guess it'll balance itself out. Okay, so let's make these rocks kind of pointed. One thing you can always do with your composition is make directional lines with your objects or pieces that are actually, or things that are actually in the piece itself. So like these rocks, for example, I can have them pointing here, or it doesn't even have to be rocks. It could just be debris from a building or something, which actually would make more sense because they don't live, they live in the city. So yeah, we could just make this debris and rubble. So what we can do, let's have it, let's give it a little bit of shadow on here. And this can be slightly, this can be the lightest. This will be the lightest one, so let's lighten that up a bit. Then here, we can do the same thing. Bam, there we go. And then we'll just lower the value of this one. So now we can read what's in the foreground, what's in the midground, what's in the background a little bit more. Okay. So there's probably going to be some destruction behind it as well. So there's that. And probably, I might make him a little smaller too. This clearly is my best work you guys have ever seen me do. But we're probably going to scale him down a little bit. Just wondering, what are your tips for gaining better color sense for design? I need it for graphic brand design, but I haven't taken formal classes yet. Oh, good question. So the first thing, this is going to sound really basic, but get used to the color wheel. Whoa. Okay. So the color wheel here, you want to get really used to understanding how this works. You want to make sure you understand what complementary color schemes are. For those who do not know, that is a color that is opposite on the color wheel. So for example, we actually have hints of it here. We have green and red, orange and blue, yellow, purple. Those are complements. Oh wait, let me see. Some people say that's a natural sense or power, but I sometimes don't know how to tell what colors look best together. So it can be learned. It can definitely be learned because I was not very strong with color, but it comes down to these basics, right? So you start with your color wheel, and then you want to start understanding what are the types of color schemes that come from just this. So complementary is an example of one. And if we go in, like, let's look at some film studies. Tree color schemes film. So these are examples in film of complementary colors, right? Red and green we just saw are examples of that. So you have these red backgrounds, looks like this kind of damask print on the wall, and then you have these this green focal point for this character. Clearly it means we're supposed to look at her. Same thing here. I don't know if these are all from the same movie. Then you also have monochromatic, which basically means you're using one color primarily. An example of that actually is this shot here in Mulan. it's mostly this bluish gray green kind of thing. So with the exception of these little highlights on the bottom left, it's basically a monochromatic scheme. And then you have analogous, which basically means colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. So this one kind of fits that, actually, with the exception of this green accent. Everything kind of fits. This is all kind of purple to orange, to purple to red to orange. It's kind of in that realm. Triadic is a little bit more challenging. That's three colors that are all equally distant from each other on the color wheel. But one thing that I think you can do as a simple trick, I would actually just take the palettes from films that are already been established, and you can get the sense of it. Like this one, this dude looks like Adam Sandler. I don't know if that actually is him in makeup, but it looks like him. But if you notice, this has got a lot of purples, reds, blues, orange. They're all kind of in the same mixture. This one's got reds and greens. The other thing that you want to get used to is the value. So knowing how bright or how dark a color needs to be in order to make it work, that's something that's actually probably more important, because the colors we see are based off of the value. For example, let me do this. Uh-oh, there's my spinning wheel. If I were to do this, let's take yellow, for example. This is a pretty pure yellow. What happens if I make this just darker? Notice how it instantly starts turning into green. It almost doesn't even look yellow anymore. This looks like a vomit color, right? So yellow doesn't, you can't change the value of yellow very much before it stops looking yellow. But if I did the same thing with blue, I could just take this down. And you see all these different varieties of blue. And I didn't even take it as far as I could. I could do this. I could do like a cyan blue. So blue, for example, has the largest spectrum when it comes to color. But it's just about getting used to it and seeing things a little bit differently. Megan also has this tip for my students. I like to say that color is like a cake, where the actual cake is value and the icing is hue and saturation. The cake is what creates the structure, but the icing is what people actually notice. I would say the first thing is to make sure your value, composition, contrast looks good. If you don't know how to set a dot gain 20% profile in Photoshop, learn that. I agree with everything Megan just said. So value is going to be super important. It's actually very common for people to learn value first and then learn color. So if you're not comfortable with value, get used to doing some studies of that, whether you're painting something or whether in your graphic design practice, you do that. If anyone else has any color tips, please let Janet know. I think it'll be helpful for her as well as anyone else who's watching the stream. And then we got my boy Naeem in the house. What is up, dude? And I love the profile picture. Calvin is always welcome here. Matter of fact, where's my book? Gotta represent Calvin Hobbes, always one of the best comics of all time. I got so many books on my desk here. Oh my goodness. All right. You know what? Let me change the music. I just realized we've been listening to the same thing for an hour and 20 minutes, and that gets annoying after a while. So let's try this one. All right. So this one is going to be, maybe it's probably going to be slightly analogous, because this is kind of a grayish purple happening right here. Yeah, so we got that happening. And then let's actually get the characters in here. So this one's going to be a little bit tricky, because I have to consider the color schemes of the characters and the lighting scenario. So let me go and grab this real quick, current lineup. Since only my 3 main characters are in it, I only need to keep those 3 here. So Javen, Atana, Kayla, you are good to go. Everyone else, go away. I don't need you right now. All right, so because it's a night scene, we're gonna have to consider this color does not look like is a night scene. I can use this as a base. So what I might do actually, I might just select these colors for now, and then I can shift them all towards a darker blue to make it work. Now, of course, the glow on Javen's jacket, that's more of a pure color. That's gonna stay pretty much the same because of the nature of how it's just lit. So, or the fact that it is lighting itself. So we're gonna have Javen like this. Let's get his, probably gonna be sitting down, hiding. And Kayla is right here next to him. Let's get Kayla's hair out. She probably needs to be hiding a little bit more, but it's okay. And then the rear view of Kayla. Shoot, okay. I actually need the turnarounds for Kayla and Atana because I just remember it's their back view that we're seeing. Okay, so Atana, let's get her design. Is this the right one? Yes, it is. And then Kayla. Here we go. These are the characters. Oh shoot, I did it all in one layer. Well, there goes that. I thought I was doing it on a different layer, but guess not. All right, then we got these little ones here. And again, these are more like quick samples right here. I'm not really super worried about getting proportions of these characters right or anything like that. It's really just to kind of place them somewhere. The idea behind this one is Atana is a little bit closer to us, which might mean actually that I might want to do something like this with this debris. And then her arm is it's primarily exposed. And again, guys, I'm just putting these here as a base. The colors are not going to remain this way for long. It's just me putting this here. I know, right? Wrong layer, Kronk, right? It's a shame. I hate when that happens. I'd say for graphic design, you should look into the meaning of certain colors if you want to convey certain emotions. E.g., most companies that want to appear corporate use blue as their main color. Luxury items come in black and gold, and pastels, pinks. Fast food companies usually use red, etc. Yes, so color does also have certain meanings associated with it, and that's something that you're going to have to get used to as well, depending on the context. So one thing I like about color is that there's never one right way to do something, but you do have to be aware of the ways that usually work. And you have to just use your best judgment in scenarios like that where you're picking out certain colors. Because Mark is absolutely right. When it comes to doing food, you'll often notice the color red being used, like McDonald's or Wendy's, Chick-fil-A. What else? What else is another red-based? Red Lobster. A lot of food places will use that. If it's very healthy, you might switch it to a green. Like you might see, like one of my favorite spots is called Heart House, which is Kevin Hart's plant-based burger spot, which I had the other day, but I might get some more tonight because that place is good. There's a drive-by right by my house. Anyway, that place is primarily green because it's showing plant-based, you know? So that also contributes quite a bit. Okay, so what I'm gonna do with this right now, I'm going to create a clipping mask, and is this gonna work? Let me just double check. See something. Wait, is it working? Why is it working on some of it but not all of it? There we go. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I create a mask for this layer specifically, and I'm just going to take the background color I'm just going to wash them in it completely. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to do a little overlay. And just see what feels good. Probably going to be a little bit more desaturated. And it's possible that none of these might work. I don't know if any of these are working, actually. Oh, wait. Maybe this. Let's go a little bit darker. Will that help me? No, it's not helping me. All right, I got to do this the old-fashioned way. So now I'm just going to turn everybody blue. Is basically what's about to happen right now. So I'm just going to slowly turn everybody into a different color. And when I find something I like, I'll just use that. And the reason for this, again, is because it's a night scene. So the hairs and skin is naturally going to reflect that, with the exception of the parts of them that are glowing. So, okay, it's going to be a little bit darker here. Let's see. Okay. It's looking all right without the lines. One time I saw a sushi food truck that was pink and white. Look, we can say break stereotypes all you want, but ain't nobody looking at that getting hungry for sushi when it comes to color language. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yes, Amanda, I agree with the laughter. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah, some stuff just works. The one exception is if you're trying to openly distract viewers from a certain color or a certain psychological reasoning for color. So, for example, there is one character. I do this with my class all the time. There's one character in the Harry Potter series that is hated more than the main villain, Voldemort, and that is Dolores Umbridge. And one of the things that makes her so hated, as far as I remember, she doesn't kill anybody in the show, like or in the movie or the books, like Voldemort does. But I think what makes it so hurtful for people is because we expect her to be this kind, loving, beautiful person because of her demeanor and the colors that she wears. Like, we expect her to be nice because we associate pink with cute, feminine, sweet, all that stuff, and yet she is this monster. So in a situation like this, you can break the rules of what is traditionally seen as a certain viewing of a specific color. All right, so I think these colors are actually gonna work. All right, yeah, these will work. We'll come back in later with the glow. With the glow. Got Kayla's hair right here. I'm leaving a little bit of room for rim light, but not a ton. Not a ton. Yeah, I should get rid of this debris. Actually, rather that be separate. And then we can just put things like here. Boom. Boom. There's probably a really nice way to put it compositionally so that it reads better. And then we got to put, of course, our boy, our Abaddon here. Where's the characters? Let's put crew. I feel like pink is a tricky color for branding. Yeah, that's also why I brought up the Dolores Umbridge, because pink, it can be tricky. It can be, but it is possible. I think I've seen every color used for branding at some point or another. But I think a lot of it's just going to come down to the knowledge and the confidence to use those colors in a way that makes sense for what you're doing. So the pink being tricky for branding is purely a subjective thing, because you might find a situation where it's perfect. Like if I was branding Hello Kitty or Barbie, right? Isn't that, people are all into Barbie right now? That pink is the perfect color to use, right? So yeah. I think you should drink some water, Jordan, but not just you, everyone. You know what? I actually am getting kind of parched. So, mm. Ooh, I am hungry. I felt that go down. Imelda Staunton was way too pretty to play Umbridge from in the books. In the book, she looks like a toad. I didn't know that's what the actress's name was. I think it works. Because first of all, when you're writing a book, it's so much easier to be descriptive because you just have to use your imagination. Like the way I picture Harry Potter is very different than how you might, despite the fact that he's on the cover and everything. Um, Especially if you read them before the movies. Now that was not me, but like I pictured Daniel Radcliffe when I was reading those books. But in the case of like Umbridge or something like that, or whoever else, you got to use an actor that kind of fits the role. And that's just the challenge of adapting to the screen. I think you just have to deal with that. Menendez was just talking about Umbridge with my sisters earlier. Never finished the series, but I remember the absolute horror and discomfort when she has kids in detention using that quill that scars them. Yeah, she's freaking horrible, right? But that's the point. Like, it's supposed to throw you off. Because normally, when you expect like evil mastermind type of character, you don't picture this one with this, soft feminine frame and pink and all that stuff. You just don't. It's not what we typically come to expect. Because of the way we associate color with certain things, right? So when she does that, it's almost like a betrayal. It's like, oh my gosh, how dare you? You know? Okay, let's fix Javen's jawline because we gotta do better than that. Let's do a little bit of a shadow here. His hair is a little big. By the way, guys, I want to thank you again for being here for the 40th live stream on the Joe McFo Show. I still can't believe we're here because there was a time where I was too nervous to even just put out a video, and I still get nervous by putting out videos too. But or just being on live without the Art Prof crew, supporting. So you guys being here each and every week, just wanting to see this project come to life and hear me talk about random stuff and watch me try and hold in. Having to go to the bathroom because y'all keep talking about the same shows I love. You guys know you tempt me. It means a lot, and I really, really mean that. So thank you all so much. I'm not crying. You're crying. All right, this shaved sides on Jay is a little tricky right now. But let's use this sample real quick. I feel like I'm allowed to color pick my own colors right here. Get that in there. Okay, so Jaren's shirt. And again, I'm not really worrying so much about the glow right now. We can do that towards the end once we figure out his shapes. Mark says, I'm here for the water. Gotta hydrate for the week. You know what? I'll take it. Just give me the watch time. Just give me the watch time. And I will accept. Amanda says, woohoo, happy 40, on to season 3. Is that how long it takes to get a third season? 40 episodes? I don't know. I guess we're talking like the old school syndicated shows, then yeah, I guess so. Although nowadays, ooh man, debating if I should talk about the strike because I have opinions on that. Some of you guys may or may not know the reasons behind why it's happening, but you think about the shows that we like, and all the people who are integral to those projects just getting sideswiped like that is just so sad. And one of the things that they're doing, and what Amanda said actually reminded me of it, is the change in episode numbers. Like, one of the reasons it's so bad for writers is because you usually back in like the 90s and stuff, you would have shows that would have 20 something episodes per season. But now with streaming and things, you have shows that are only like 10 episodes, like Stranger Things, where that's actually 8 episodes, or pretty much anything on those platforms. They're almost automatically shorter just because of the demand and the time it takes to, you know, make these shows. And I don't think they want to spend that much money on, you know, on a series they're not sure about. There's a lot of things about streaming that I like, don't get me wrong, but as a business model, it's actually doing everybody a disservice. Everyone's kind of concerned about that. Okay, so I'm gonna get this slightly brighter. I could also put a shadow here, but I'm gonna wait until I put in the light for Javen. Matter of fact, let's just do that now. Let's just put in the light right here. Here is the light that shines, special for you and me. You guys know that song by Common? Came out in the year 2000. It's literally called The Light. It's pretty catchy. All right, so now we got Javen with the glowy sweatshirt. Could probably lower the opacity just a little bit because I still want it to glow, but I don't want it to just be overpowering. And then what I could also do, get the soft round, and I could put a little bit of the light on his chin, areas around him, like this rock or debris that he's on, a little bit on his hair maybe, some bits on his knees, because that's how light reacts to things, right? I think he's looking pretty good, looking smooth there. Man, I'm hungry. Whew, okay, let's go back to our sketch. See our creepy guy, our Abaddon. I'm trying to think. Can we use a shortcut? Or at least just get a reference at least. Because my shape language changes every single time for Abaddons. Guys with the long legs and stuff. Let's just put him in black. Let's just see what he turns into. Loving how the glow looks in the low-key composition. It's fun, right? It's really, really fun. Streaming actually made me watch less shows than I used to. Now I just watch YouTube. That's interesting, actually. YouTube is actually scared of TikTok now, as you guys probably already know. Same market, just so many options, not enough variety. That's another thing about Hollywood. I don't know how many of you guys are in the know of the industry, but one of the things that is happening is they generally don't like to put money in things they don't know are going to succeed. So what's happening now is we're seeing a shift, because a lot of these really big budget movies, like the 5th Indiana Jones movie, I think that cost $200 to $300 million to make, and no one saw it. Like, I don't even think they broke even. But let's look. Dial of Destiny. And I saw it. Don't get me wrong. I saw it. You know, I knew it wasn't going to be the best of the series at all going in, but Indy's my dude. Okay, so let's see. Oh, wow, they barely broke even. Look at that, though. It's been out for a month. It's been out for a month. And it just broke a barrier. $300 million is a lot of money to spend on one movie, by the way. I think the Avengers movies probably has a similar budget. Let me see. Yeah, 356 to 400 million. Yeah, that's a lot of money. But look at the profit margin, 2.8 billion, basically. It's massive. So what's happening now is people are going to see these movies less and less. And I think people are just kind of tired of the same rebooted stuff. Like, as much as I love some of these franchises that have been around for 30, 40 years and all that, it's like enough is enough, guys. Like, you need to find some variety, but it's not tested, which is why I think there's projects coming out that based off of graphic novels that are doing well, you know, because they clearly have an audience, and it's proven that, or maybe not proven, but it's shown that it's probably going to succeed. Um, so, you know what? I don't like this pose. I want to do something more threatening, like something on all fours, maybe. Go ahead and do that. Yeah, something like this. I was so excited for Barbenheimer. I went to watch both because it was something new. Well, um, I would say Barbie isn't new at all. That's based off of another franchise. It might look different than a lot of the films, but it's based off of an IP that already exists. Barbie as a brand is very popular. So I wouldn't even include that into the conversation. What I mean is something that no one has genuinely seen before. Like, um, how would I put this? I mean, like, Shadowboxers is something that no one has seen yet. You know, that's a brand new IP, or something that you might see on webtoons, or something that is on Instagram. Like, people have these web comics that they put out on Instagram. You know, like that's a new IP. Barbie's not a new IP, and the Oppenheimer, that's a historical story. That's you know, I'm sure there's elements that they fictionalized for the sake of the film, but that's also based on a true story. So um, so yeah, Hollywood is definitely running out of content. And one of the things about Cartoon Network, I don't know if you guys remember me talking about it, but one of the things that makes it so devastating, the fact that it's closing, is the fact that they're not going to have new IP projects, new intellectual properties. They're going to do things that are based off of things that they know are already successful. So you're going to see a bunch of Batman shows. You're probably going to see a lot of Scooby Doo stuff coming out, and you're probably going to see anything that they know was popular. They might even reboot a show like Powerpuff Girls again, or Dexter's Lab, or something like that. Um, but yeah, that's just how it is. They want to capitalize on nostalgia and not invest in stories that could be interesting to the audience if given the chance. Most of these nostalgia things used to be original at some point, right? That is true. They used to be original, but that was also a very different Hollywood. Uh, a lot of the stuff they're remaking came out in the 80s and 90s, and they were groundbreaking. But you got to think about it from a business perspective. It's like the Fast and Furious movies. Like, if you can guarantee this is going to make money, why not make it again? And you know, Fast and Furious has had, I don't even know, like 10 movies or something, and they just keep making money. I don't know a single person who goes to see those movies. Like, I genuinely don't know where they're coming from, but it makes money. You know, I think Amanda's referring to the concept of watching both Barbie and Oppenheimer back to back. I mean, I guess maybe, I don't know. Amanda, you have to confirm what you meant. Either way, I took it on a whole different trail, and if that's not what you meant, then sorry. Um, I want to say I think these sequels aren't doing well because they're bad, not because people are tired of it. Puss in Boots 2 is the sixth Shrek movie. It was great. That's also a possibility too. You know, so a lot of these sequels are bad. I think a lot of it is because they don't really plan for. I don't think they plan very well for sequels, generally speaking. But I also think people are just kind of tired of the same formula. Like, I think that's why people gravitate towards the streaming shows. Uh, you know, like, and I'm not saying it has to be brand new. Like, a show like Stranger Things is based on a lot of really popular tropes from the 80s. Like, it took a lot from like E.T. and Stand By Me, and they had some Back to the Future elements in there. Like, they take a lot of inspiration from those 80s classics, but they revision it in a way that makes it fun and interesting and unique. And I think that's why it did so well. It's not just, you know, Back to the Future Part 17. You know what I mean? Please don't remake Back to the Future. It's perfect as it is, by the way. If any Hollywood exec is listening, please know we We like it as it is. We like Doc. We like Marty as is. So this is an Abaddon I have not designed yet, so forgive me, guys. It's not going to be the most interesting design I could probably come up with, but it'll get the point across. That's all that I'm doing this for. Quite honestly, this orange might be a little too bright. So can we tone this down? How can I tone this down? Let's use the levels. It's not really going to do it. All right, let's try another thing. Could tone this down just a little bit. So he's supposed to be bright, but I want him to also show like he's in the distance too. So yeah, let's go back to the crew. Let's go back to Atana and Kayla. Because they released on the same day for some reason. Green Kathy's comment. Yeah, I mean that is something fun and new, you know. But I was more referring to just the IP in general of things. They did reboot the Powerpuff Girls. It was horrible. Yeah, I've heard. Meanwhile, something like Elemental, Pixar seemed to have lackluster enthusiasm, though I've heard part of that is poor marketing. Yeah, I've heard great things about Elemental actually. Everyone I know who has seen it has said nothing but great things about it. But yeah, they definitely could have marketed it better because I've heard that based on what they saw in the movie, the trailers did nothing to show what the movie was about. Like it was actually confusing. Probably with like how they did Brave. I don't know if you guys remember how that was advertised, but it was so different than the movie that we actually got. I was actually shocked. I was like, since when does this have a bear? Like, what was the bear about? You know? So yeah. Marketing. And also, one thing I learned, my uncle taught me this. I was asking him, why is it that movies are made and shot and completed and not released? And it has to do with marketing. One of the things I learned was that a movie could cost so much to make, but you also have to market that could cost almost the equivalent, if not more than the amount it costs to make the movie. And if they don't believe it's going to make enough, they're just going to shelve it and use it as a tax write-off. Like it costs them less to get a tax write-off for a movie that's already shot and completed, but that they don't think will make money, than it would be for them to put it out. So that's why you have movies that, like I think Batgirl, is either Batgirl or Batwoman. I'm not exactly sure. That movie was shot, completed, and everything, and yet they didn't put it out because they're like, yeah, we don't think it's going to work. Which is really sad. I feel really bad for all the people who worked on that film and people who are also just in that situation in general. It's really unfortunate. Really, really unfortunate. Okay, Tana's got these gauntlets on her. Her arm is connected to her. Don't worry, guys. I'm just doing a really poor job of drawing it right now. Things don't have to be original. They can't be anyway, but they can be inspired. Invincible and The Boys were popular because they were a new spin on the superhero genre. Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with that stuff. And you're right. There is nothing that's going to be 100% original. But what I'm saying is whether it's based on an old IP, like, is it another Batman show? Is it another Powerpuff Girls? Is it another Scooby-Doo? That's what I'm saying. Even Shadowboxers, like as much as I love working on it, I'm not going to pretend like it's not based on a couple of things that I particularly enjoy. You know, like there's a lot of Avatar inspiration, clearly. There's a lot of Jack and Daxter. That's another one that we banned. I gotta start taking smaller sips and almost out of water. But it's got a lot of that element. It's got some Indiana Jones in there. It's got a lot of elements from stories that I grew up on and love as inspirations. And so I'm not going to pretend like this is 100% original. It is, I think, a very different way of spinning some of those things that I like. And based on what my team has told me, they can confirm. You guys can Megan and Kathy, you can confirm or deny whether or not you feel like it's something different in some way. But yeah, that's all I'm referring to, is just something as simple as that. I think what we want as Knights is just people taking more chances, honestly. It's like, let's try something that is a little risky. I think that's what people want. If I were to take a guess. All right, so now let's get this design here. I think that's all we're going to see on her. Maybe just a little bit of that. Just realized I should have blurred this whole layer. I'll do that later on. Let me get Kayla first. What's the review of Kayla's backpack like? It's so funny. Like, I designed these characters, but I can hardly remember how they look sometimes. But guys, I would just share my opinion on stuff. I'm curious, would you guys rather see what would you guys rather see? Would you guys rather see more remakes of the same type of stuff, same based on the same IP? Would you guys go support it no matter what? Or are you guys more like me, where it's like, okay, let's see something that's different? There are 41 movies featuring Batman according to my Bing search. Yeah, okay, there you go. And Batman's cool. Don't get me wrong. Batman's dope, right? We all love Batman. Although I have a bias as to who the better superhero is. But that's just me. Okay. So this Abaddon, I don't like its placement right now. All right. Okay. So I'm looking at this. I'm returning back to our original reference, and it was a lot more green. And so what I think I might do, I'm gonna do something a little fun. I think we're gonna play with the sky and just shift that to be a little bit more towards this green, a little more saturated. And we're gonna play with some clouds and stuff too. And maybe even do a little bit of a city in the back. Where's my city brushes? City brushes? City brushes. Where you at? Where they at? Where they at? I know I have them in here. I could just search it, I guess. Oh, are they not in here? Hold on a second. That's a problem. I need those brushes right now. I need those brushes. Amanda says, that's ridiculous. I want something new. Everything, everywhere, all at once was awesome, but I don't know. Is Into the Spider-Verse new? So that, okay, hold on. I got like one more or two more sips in there before I have to get up again. Spider-Verse is not a new IP at all. We've seen plenty of Spider-Man movies. But what they did was a different take, which is what made it so interesting. First off, the animation style alone was enough to bring it over the edge. I mean, there are so many films, even Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie that's coming out is heavily inspired by the way that they animated that movie. I think even the Puss in Boots movie was heavily inspired by it. Hold on, let me just look for these brushes real quick. Here we go. City brush set. There we go. Okay, we're good now. Spider-Verse and what were we saying? Yeah, so they had a different take on it. The animation style, the character. We hadn't seen Miles Morales before. We hadn't seen first, and the movie is really good. First of all, it's really funny. Uh, so there's a lot of things that it had going for it, but it is not a new IP. IP, okay, for just for clarity's sake, um, is an intellectual property. That's what that means. Star Wars is an example. Indiana Jones is an example. Batman, Harry Potter, like it's a brand in itself. And the issue that I have is that these companies are taking those IPs and building more and more just to make money because they know it will do well because they have a guaranteed audience already, right? I didn't even see the newer Harry Potter movies, but they did that, I think, to just get more money out of the the IP. And I know that J.K. Rowling actually wrote more books and stuff, but even that, it felt kind of weird. The character Miles Morales is a new IP. No, it's not because he's still Spider-Man. He's Spider-Man, but he's just a different kid under the mask. It's like the next generation. Like Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai is another great example. Karate Kid as an IP is its own thing, but Cobra Kai is a spin-off. It's in the same world. It's the same universe, basically. I like to see new stuff. I watch anything with superpowers, but even as a Marvel fanboy, I can't with all the content they push out. The last Marvel thing I saw was Wakanda Forever. Same here. That's the last thing I saw as well. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Like they really need to figure out how to do new stuff. But the challenge is, again, it's not a guaranteed moneymaker. And at the end of the day, it's show business. It is a business. If you're putting 100, 200, $300 million into a movie, you want to make sure you're going to get that back. And if you're going with new creators, new projects, there's no guarantee you're going to make that money back. And so we're kind of at a standstill. So that's why, oftentimes when you see a brand new project, it turns out it's based off of a video game or a comic book. Like Nimona, for example, is based off of a comic or graphic novel, rather. And because it was so successful, that's how that they're putting that out. Has Been Hotel is a similar situation. The lady who did that, what's her name? I think it's like Valerie something. I can't remember. You guys can look it up. But Has Been Hotel, that started as a YouTube project and it just built up. So yeah, that's just how it is. That's so sad for the character. I didn't know that. You're gonna watch the Ninja Turtles? Yes, I'm totally gonna watch it. Are you kidding? That's gonna be dope. So I'm not saying that I'm against it, like against things coming out, but my issue is that they seem to resort to that more, and it's like they're the only thing that they can do is create something based off of old IPs, and it's just kind of tiring after a while. It's like, please just show us something different, show us something new, shock the people, as my boy Tupac once said. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was getting some city silhouettes, window stamps, bricks, railings. Let's just do a simple silhouette here. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to lower the opacity of that, show that that's in the distant background. I'm also just going to duplicate this layer, put that clipping mask on again. And I'm just going to scale it a bit. Actually, let's tone that one down, turn this up, and then I'll lighten this. Maybe just desaturate, actually. There should be something here. I actually don't know if I like those buildings at all. Yes, I have a lot of brushes. Yes, I get lost in them. And yes, there are also many duplicates. Let's see. Miles was introduced in the comics in 2011. A lot of the characters in the second movie are well established in the comics. Yep, that is true. Wasn't Secret Invasion canceled or something because it didn't do as well as anticipated? I may be thinking of something else. I don't keep up with the news very well. I think you're right. I think it was canceled or it got really bad reviews. Yeah, that's why I was surprised when Guardians of the Galaxy came out. I didn't know Marvel had more up its sleeve than usually. Most of these series tend to be trilogies. It's just like a nice complete number. I don't know what they were doing with Thor 4. I don't know why they. I didn't even see it. Actually, to be fair, I haven't seen any of the Thor movies, but it just didn't make sense. It was like his arc seemed very complete in Endgame. So yeah, it's weird. Disney Marvel could do better though. They have an established IP. They could cash in on immediately. The X Men and Fantastic Four. I think if they spent time on these instead of trying to give us the next Thor movie or making an Iron Man adjacent character or thinking we care about Nick Fury that much, we would get some better stuff. So, okay. So the X-Men and Fantastic Four, they had to wait long for that because of who owned the character. Um, so this may or may not be news to you guys, but basically back in like the late 90s, early 2000s, Marvel was in a really bad spot. And so they sold all their characters off to different companies. And I forget. I know Sony. I know they kept Spider-Man. It's like Sony kept Spider-Man. Oh shoot! This is gonna be the last one because I'm out of water now. But the other ones, like the Iron Mans and the Hulks and the Thors, that the characters that no one really cared about, those were sold off to Disney with the plan, or if it wasn't Disney, it was whoever made the first Iron Man. But anyway, um, the plan was to create the MCU basically and make movies based off of that. And even making Iron Man was a huge risk to them. But the most popular series they kept to themselves. They kept them in Sony so that they had something to go off of. But with the success of the MCU, now they're trying to make these deals and how to. Uh, oh my gosh, they're trying to make these deals to make more money for everybody. So as far as Thor, yeah, I don't know about that. The Iron Man adjacent, I think that was more pandering because that character, Riri Williams, is based off a comic character, but she came out recently in the last 6 to 7 years, like 2015 or something like that. Nick Fury, yeah, you're right about that one. Jordan, if you don't put these on the SB Instagram ASAP, I will be mad. All right, I will put these on the Instagram for sure. I don't want you to be mad at me. They sold them to Fox. Okay, yeah, it was Fox then. And then Fox was bought out by Disney, right? So yeah, there we go. You being out of water sounds like a you problem. I still have a decent part of a gallon left. Oh my gosh. Jeez. Well, we are going to have to wrap up soon anyway because I actually am getting super hungry. But trust me, guys, if you bring it up again, I will make sure to drink water. I will make sure to drink water afterwards. Get that hydration check. This is the first time I actually run out of water. I think that's because y'all did it on purpose. And I warned you. I warned you this might happen. Yeah, let me get. Where's my O'Keefe brush set? Way down here. I try and have an alphabetical order, even though I use these very frequently. Okay, there we go. That's a good mix. Okay. I know the debris is very nondescript too, so that would definitely be something I would adjust later on. And then, you know what might be fun too? Let's just do a really nice long shadow. Nice long shadow right here. It will not actually be black, but I'm just gonna have this here. Let's tone that down a bit. And this should probably be underneath. Yeah. But, shadow. There needs to be something behind him, but what I can do real quick, just give it a different value up here. Like there's some smoke in the air maybe. Anyway, Jordan, you said it was hot out there. Could it be because of a certain comment that is owned by someone called Sosa? Dude, I'm out of water. Look, I got nothing. Okay, actually just spilled myself right there. There's a little drop left, but I'm out. I'm out. Got no more water for bending. I promise I'll get some more. Okay, let's see. Let's clean up a tonic. Did I spill my art book too? No, we're good. Just my chest. And then we had to make this glow. So let's do that real quick. Let's do a soft little Gaussian blur. Right. And then, only thing I don't like about this background is it doesn't convey space enough. So let me, these buildings aren't really doing it all that well, unfortunately. But what I can do, I can create a bit more clear, a clearer horizon line, I think. Yeah. So put that behind these buildings. Let's have that, let's blur that line just a little bit because we don't need that to be super sharp. This is in the far distance. Okay. Then we can also brighten up some of these bits of debris. Oh wait, there's a couple things I still gotta do. Let's get some shadows for Atana. For her hair. And then a couple little spots where we see a little bit of that glow. Mark says my work here is done. I should go to bed. I've been awake for 21 hours. Wait, what? Dude, I thought you were just waking up. What in the world? Why are you up? Don't you have to go to work in like 30 minutes or something? I'll wait till the stream ends though. Oh my gosh, you're a trooper. I really appreciate that, dude. But please don't hurt yourself over my streams. Although your presence will sorely be missed if you do miss a stream. I'm just letting you know. But please don't hurt yourself. Okay, so the shadow along with the darkness of these rocks behind our crew is not working well, so let's just do a simple selection. I hope this will work. That's not gonna do it. Okay, my tolerance. My selection tool. That's a little too, no. It's a little better. Yeah, I could just stuck with 0, huh? All right, let's just darken that up a little bit. Yeah, now we're seeing some separation. Then I can put some fog in the middle here somewhere. Here's my noise brushes. I don't know if I like that. Let's try again. Let's just try a soft brush this time. Yeah, get a little fog in there. And then, yeah, let's cover up the Abaddon just a little bit more, make it a little more mysterious. He's mysterious, so mysterious. He's gonna haunt our heroes. That is not based off another song. I am just making stuff up because I'm trying to distract myself from how hungry I am right now. I've only had one meal today. I've gotten to a point where it usually doesn't bother me as much anymore, but right now I'm bothered. I'm very bothered. Let's put that a little bit of shadow here. All right. And I think we just about got it. Now I could make Atana a little bit smaller, but I think we'll be okay. Let me actually get rid of this little bit here, and let's do some very subtle layer reveals for the rock / debris. Let's do that here too. And then let's actually have some of this glow come on Kayla as well, because it would affect her just the same. Just the same. Just a little bit though. Mostly this pink though should be here, there, bam. All right. Well, two totally opposite sides of the page, but I think we got some cool stuff today. So ignore that. But yeah, we start off with this one with Ishnu kind of meditating in the forest in the fall. And then we got Javen, Kayla, and Atana hiding from an Abaddon. So I think this was a pretty successful stream overall for our 40th one, and got to do something a little bit different. So if you guys like the color studies, put it in the comments and we can do it again for next time. But I want to see what things we can do to spice up our live streams, because I could keep doing the same thing over and over again. If you guys will keep coming, I would totally do it. But if you guys want to see something different every once in a while, just gotta let me know so that I can consider what new ventures we can go on as far as creating more stuff for Shadowboxers. But let me read through your last comments real quick. Kayla being outside at night hiding from monster seems like bad parenting on Kasim's part. Okay, first of all, it's Asim. Second, I never said that that was her parent. Never said that. Anyway, Kathy says, yay. Megan says, vote for me on the stream. Vote for utter chaos. Y'all like the stream, please? Yes, please like the stream. Like the stream, share it, and replay it. Have it going while you're sleeping so I can get the watch time hours, all that cool stuff. But you guys, love you all. Much appreciated for you coming through, and I will see you next time. Peace.